Okay, the kids didn't come out. The bell just rang, but the kids didn't come out, so I'll just continue making this video. So, compound exercises versus isolation exercise. Which one makes you stronger? And in my opinion, I'm not gonna say any facts. These aren't facts. These are just my opinion and through my experience. Oh yeah, by the way, a compound exercise basically involves 2 joints, and an isolation exercise involves 1 joint. For example, isolation exercise will be a bicep curl, a compound movement, or a compound exercise will be like a pull-up or a dip, right, involving 2 joints, your shoulders and elbows, right? Now, in my opinion, through my experience, compound movements made me stronger than doing isolation exercises or isolation movements. When in my current program, when I'm doing calisthenics, I do not do bicep curls. You get what I'm saying? I don't do bicep curls, but my bicep curl increased by 20 pounds when I was just doing pull-ups. Pull-ups does involve your biceps. When you're doing a pull-up, it involves your bicep to contract along with your lats, right? And when I was doing that and increasing my reps on my pull-ups, I went to the gym a few weeks ago, and I picked up a 30 pound dumbbell, and it felt so light. I was like, oh my gosh, this ain't real right now. Picked up a 35. It wasn't light, but it was something. It was a weight where I never would even be able to pick up off the rack. Then I picked up a 40, and that's where it stopped for me. That's where I was able to just do 2 curls, and that was it. I could never imagine being able to do 2 curls, and I did not do bicep curls to get there. I did pull-ups, right? I did pull-ups. It increased my overall strength because I'm exerting a lot more energy and force throughout my body, right, to move the weight, as opposed to doing the isolation exercise. Now, I'm not saying that isolation exercises won't make you stronger, but I could almost guarantee you that doing bicep curls won't really increase your pull-ups. It won't increase the amount of reps you can do with pull-ups. But it's the other way around, at least through my experience, right? Now, especially with doing calisthenics, it involves a lot of compound movements, right? It doesn't really involve a lot of isolation exercises. And the isolation exercises so far that I know about with calisthenics are actually pretty difficult to the external weight isolation exercises, right? So when you're doing tricep extensions in the push-up position, and you do a tricep extension, it's a lot harder to do that than to do a bicep curl. Or when you're doing, it's damn near impossible to do the impossible dip. It's basically an isolation exercise. If you really look at it, it's an isolation exercise, right, for your triceps. So in that sense, yeah, those isolation exercises could make you stronger, but in the long run, I would say compound movements such as deadlifts, squats, pull-ups, dips, those will make you stronger as opposed to doing isolation exercises. So yes, if you're doing calisthenics, do compound movements. No, and as a matter of fact, if you're doing calisthenics, you should be on the bars doing your workouts, which all really consist of compound movements such as single bar dips and, as I mentioned before, the other exercises, right? If you're doing bodybuilding, I would not advise you to really do too many compound movements because they exert a lot of energy, and you really want to spend your energy trying to tear the muscle you're working. So instead of doing pull-ups, I would say yes, do bicep curls because you really want to tear that muscle and concentrate on the contraction tempo, right? You don't want to focus on trying to pull your entire body just so you can work on your biceps. Not to say it wouldn't work, but I don't find that too efficient. So it really depends on your goal with whether or not you want to do compound and isolation exercises. But in the long run, compound exercises, in my opinion, will make you stronger as opposed to isolation exercises. But isolation exercises can make you look stronger, as in will make you look bigger, I think a lot more faster than doing compound exercises. So that's it. That's just my theory. I'd like to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Subscribe. Talk to y'all later.